Yes, hello everybody. My name is Helmut Preissner from Igel Technology in Austria, and I today would like you to show you our products about Igel, what we are doing about our thin clients, and also what we are doing in Vienna, as Austria is now responsible for the region. That means Poland, that means the Czech Republic, that means Slovakia, Slovenia, Hungary, and Croatia. So let's talk about myself. I'm doing this since 3 years. As you may have recognized, I'm speaking English right now. I can also answer questions in German if you would prefer that. And I also have a good friend of mine from a company called Arrow over there, that's Peter. And he will then translate your questions if there are any questions left at the end, and we can then answer them to you. Basically, to myself, my grandmother, as I'm coming from Vienna, her name is Sokol. So you see, whenever someone comes from Vienna, he must have roots here in this country. Otherwise, he wouldn't be a real truth Viennese person. So, what's going on when you are planning your VDI project? You have a plan to optimize your storage, you optimize your network, your servers, and your apps. But what is at the end of your whole project? What's the device that your end customer in your company is using? That's something that most of the people don't think of the beginning, and then they came up and say, okay, we got some clients from this company, the drivers don't work. We have some client from another company, there all the VMware stuff is not working, or the Citrix stuff is not working, or Microsoft RDP suddenly has to work again. So what we have with our clients is a way that you have the right choice for every situation at the endpoint. Okay, so that means when you decide either for Citrix virtualization or VMware virtualization or for Microsoft RDP sessions, we have all those protocols in our operating system and in our clients. So, we are doing thin clients since about 20 years. We're a German-based company. Our operating system is based on Linux. And that's why we have the ability to program for our customers special drivers. I give you an example. Another customer of mine, it's the Croatian Post. They needed to have some Logitech web cameras working on their thin clients, okay? They're doing this in a Citrix environment, and they need that it's a constant flow, and they have video with 720p. So they came up to us and said, okay, we would like to use those Logitech cameras, but we don't have the drivers in Linux. We only have the drivers in Microsoft Windows. So we said, not a problem. Just send us over one Logitech camera, and we will program the Linux drivers for you and give it back to you in 1 month, and then everything is working. So maybe you may ask, why are we doing this? It has a simple reason. Because whenever a customer approaches us with a new situation where he needs some special drivers, and we then fix the solution for him and program the drivers for free for him, we can then use those drivers in our next release of our operating system for all of our other customers in the world. And that's why the people see us as a company which is, first of all, simple. So if you need something, please call up Petro, please call up myself. We are smart, so we have a really intelligent user experience. You can later, if you have some time, you can come over to a booth and I can show you something about it. And we have a secure system. I come to the point, what about security and Igel later on again? Just to show you what we think about of the security aspects which are out there. You have the complete operating system control on your fingertips as an administrator, okay? So everything that a user could theoretically do, if you allow it as an administrator on its thin client, can be done by the admin also. And it can be turned on and off from the admin. So for example, many of you know maybe the situation where the customers are saying, I want to plug in my iPhone into my thin client device to download my pictures. So this is something that you can allow as an administrator or not, and block all USB ports on the device itself. And if this user is then getting really crazy and needs it, then yes, you can open it up for 1 hour, for example, if it's allowed. It's possible, it's at your control, you are the admin, you have the whole control about the thing. So what will be there about the security aspects in the future? we will have a device lockdown mode. I give you an example. One customer, which is now a customer who wasn't before, came up to us and said, okay, we had the invasion of the WannaCry virus, okay? So what he needed to stop spreading the virus all over his company, he would have liked to have a functionality where he can lock down certain devices and then boot them up again in blocks, so that when he's building up or turning on his whole IT again, he sees, okay, is the virus still somewhere or not? And also, much more security settings are coming up in the next issue. And that's why we at Igel, we say, without Igel OS, it's like this, and with the Igel operating system, it's like that. So there's even more about the advantage points from our software. Power costs. For example, I have a customer, it's an Hungarian-based company. They have about 5,000 users. And they asked us, how can we save power in our IT landscape? So we sent it over to a consultant, and he programmed the following function. Every day in the morning at 7:30, all clients go up. Okay, from totally down, they go up again and go in standby mode. Then the users come to work, get their coffee, start working. At 5 o'clock in the evening, all clients are shutting down automatically. So this saves them a lot of power from the units not turned on at nighttime and on weekends and on holidays, okay? So to give you an amount of that, for 5,000 users, they have savings of around 50,000 euros a year just for the power turned down. The next is about the hardware costs. Why hardware costs? For example, you know you have bought about 1,000 laptops for your company, okay? So you say, okay, but after 2 or 3 years, those laptops are getting too old. I probably need to refresh them and have to take money again from the IT department to buy new laptops. Nowadays, in a virtualized world, it's not longer necessary. Okay, why is that? Because all the functionalities are in a virtual environment anywhere at Microsoft, VMware, or Citrix. So what you can basically do, you can use the hardware longer. Okay, I have some UD pockets. It's like this, it's a USB stick. You can later on come over to our booth and get one of those, where you have the whole Igel software on it, and you can even use it on a simple hardware laptop which only has 2 gig RAM and 2 gig memory. That's all you need to run our software and all the latest 64-bit software from Citrix and VMware and Microsoft. So that brings us to the point, okay, sounds nice, but how can I get this? So what I show you next is a whole line of products. And to be honest, yes, that's all besides the software. Okay, so what we are doing at Igel, we are only doing thin clients. We're not doing servers, we're not doing storage, we're not doing security software on a virus scan, stuff like that. No, we are doing only those products. And all this nowadays is since this year's summer, it's in the next release with all 64-bit technology. Why is that? Because all 3 of the big ones, Citrix, VMware, and Microsoft, they have moved already to a 64-bit architecture. So every driver that we are developing in the future will be on 64-bit technology. So then there's also an interesting situation. Some companies have some employees which are not working inside the company, they're working from home, for example. And lots of administrators have asked us, okay, Igel, come on, how can we also take care of the security and to manage those devices at their homes, which are company devices, for example, a laptop, whatever. That's possible over the Igel Cloud Gateway. It's a special software which can manage the endpoint even outside of the company IT infrastructure. And now it's getting a little bit complicated. If you look at those slides, they show you basically what we can do in a bigger environment and how the whole thing can be cross-connected. As this is going to be a lot in the direction of a pre-sales workshop. Whenever you are interested in getting more into the details about how it's all interconnected, the Igel hardware and the Igel software, and all the other software vendors' products, then please give us a short call, and we will arrange something for you. So, probably your next question is, okay, yeah, that's Agile, that's nice, but I already have some Dell Thin clients, or I'm using HP clients, or what else. How is Agile seeing itself compared to the other companies? And here we see it. First of all, we have an enterprise management system which has no extra costs. So that means when you buy, when you buy a device from Igel, everything is already included from the software and license costs, okay? So there's no hidden fees which come every year in for some extra management cost. We have automated session supports. We are hardware agnostic. For example, I could use this laptop here, it's a Lenovo. I could plug in the Igel Packet, and then I have a new thin client here running with all the protocols. We have built-in security, so what does that mean? That means basically that we are on our software, we check in while the software is starting up every bit. So if there has been any change to the software, we will then get automatically shut down, and the machine won't come up again till the problem is fixed. And then we have regular software updates also, which will be around 4 times a year, every year. Here we can go even into a deeper, closer look about all the things, but to be honest, I don't really like to tell you why we are better than the others. I always say, just let's try it out, please, by yourself. That's a lot more efficient from my point of view. Yeah, and like I said before, endpoint management is not just another thing, it's the only thing we do, and I think this is the biggest comparable thing to our other markets. Thank you so much. Sorry. About the other companies on the IT market in Europe and in the rest of the world. Yeah, of course we have also some customers where we put the logos on here, but I think everyone is doing that. We have a strong international presence. So as you see, we're not only in Europe. Since 2 years, we're also in the US, where we're making great progress with Igel products. Mainly there, our software is the most interesting thing for our partners there because of the abilities of the huge amount of workplaces you can manage with one admin. And what I now would like to show you is something that we in Igel have invented in Austria, Vienna, for our customers. What was the idea behind it? The idea was that whenever, and maybe you can agree to that, whenever you start an IT project with virtualization, you see that this runs at least for 1 year. Okay, and why is that? Because you have to take care of the right virtualization software, then about the storage systems, then about the servers, then about the security, about your networks, and so on, so on, so on. And we as Igel see that the customer talks with us and says, okay, nice, I have your demo stuff here, and we will test it in a few months when everything else is also built up. So we in Austria came up with the idea, why don't do this a little bit more smart? And so we at Igel made a plan, and we said, okay, there's a study which came out by the European Union about a few years ago, which said this is the so-called metropolis region. Okay, what does it basically say? I mean, you can read it, it has 200 pages, but the main sentence is that in this region, since the last 20 years, the public welfare and the income has always risen up. Okay, so this is a really healthy region within the European Union, which is kind of a role model for the interaction of those cities and those regions. Okay, so that basically means that in this region, because of the good ways for traffic and communication and telecommunication, it rises faster than other parts within Europe. For me personally, it's also really interesting because it takes away, I want to take away, to be honest, the name Eastern Europe. I want to use Central Europe, or either more the name for Poland, for Czech Republic, for Slovenia, and for Hungary, for the Visegrad countries. As many of you have maybe seen in the last political developments in Austria and also in your republic, there are kind of some similarities where Austria sees itself a lot more close to your country and to Poland and the other countries than to other countries, for example, like Switzerland. So that was the basis for building up a so-called flagship office showroom. Okay, I will show you in a second what that is. those are the numbers of Austria. We have 29.7% market share. We have a 50% awareness, so everyone knows the little plush hedgehog in Austria. And we have a market share of Linux systems of about 66%. And that was the reason why Igel, which is a German-based company, decided the main country and the main city for bringing them all together will not be Bremen in northern Germany, it will be Vienna in Austria. So what we then decided to do is the following. This is our showroom, okay? I will show you in a second what's in there in the showroom. Really important to know is it's in the highest, in the tallest building in Vienna right now. And from there you can almost see to Bratislava. So it's really high up there and it's a really, really nice place for our customers and for our partners. And what we are offering there is we are offering their workshops. We are offering their bigger like events where we bring all of our customers together a few times a year. And we offer this for free for our partners and for our customers and for you customers also, of course. So, but what's in there? Why is this showroom so interesting for the people? To explain this kind of showroom concept, I tried to explain it really simple. So I used this kind of showing what's in there. It's little Lego stones. Those are the technology partners who have their software, their services, their storage, some storage, and some server hardware in this showroom, okay? So for example, Citrix, everyone knows Citrix. Samsung is there with Samsung 4K monitors, with curved monitors, with huge tablet touch screens for video conferencing. We have VMware there with the newest software stuff. Microsoft is in there with their tablets and also with their RDP software and with their servers. A company called CSAM, no one probably in this room knows CSAM. It's a new startup, so we have every year we have a new startup from Europe which we bring in there for free. So this company can then show its new products to the other people visiting the showroom. We have DriveLock here. Does anyone know the company DriveLock, may I ask? Okay, DriveLock is a company which basically encrypts all your data already on the thin client. So maybe sooner or less, if this is interesting for someone, we have it. We have the company called Hermes. Hermes does cash registers. In Austria, maybe you know it's law since 2 years that we have, every time we buy something, you get this little receipt. So they are building this based on Igel Technology's thin clients. So it's a really cheap solution for small companies. Then we have Pure Storage. This is, I think, known already here. Sophos, Cisco, probably everyone knows, and Toshiba. Why Toshiba? Toshiba has really nice devices like high-end laptops, high-end tablets for industrial use. For example, you can take this laptop and drop it from here, nothing happens. And we have our Igel software on those devices. Why is that? Because we don't develop laptop hardware, so we partner with Toshiba on a worldwide basis, and they have their products in our showroom, and customers can come there and test it. So as we all know, every customer is different. So what can a customer do in this showroom? He can come up, and I give an example now. He can come up to our showroom and say, okay, dear Igel, I would like to see from the company Hermes a cash register which has an Igel operating system on it, which has DriveLock encryption on it, then a CSAM functionality, and the whole thing displayed on a Samsung built-in display. Okay? So this is one customer need, which came actually from a customer need. And we were building this up for the customer, told him after a week, yes, please come up, and you can test all those hardware and software at our flagship office for free. Here's another customer situation, what the customer needed us to build. He said, okay, I want to have an Igel thin client software system based on a Toshiba laptop, the whole thing connected together with Cisco. So many of you may ask, why Cisco? Has anyone heard of Cisco VXME? That's the software which makes it possible for video conferencing over the whole Cisco network, okay? This VXME software needs special drivers to be included that you can watch in 720p the video conferencing collaboration suite from Cisco. That whole thing in a virtual environment, which made it really like a trouble thing to build that up, and also over a Microsoft RDP session. Okay, so this is a little bit more a tricky situation that a customer wanted to build us. This took us for a month to build it, but then we could show it to him. And many of you may ask, okay, how do you get the support from those companies? We have direct access to Cisco developers, we have direct access to Microsoft developers over Austria, because nowhere in the world there's a situation for bringing all this on a neutral basis together, okay? So whenever there's a problem, those companies are in our showroom, they pay us for being in our showroom, and they help our customers to build the whole solution. So let me show you one more. This is a solution where the customer wanted to do not only the client aspect, but also build kind of the whole stack. So this one is based on a pure storage system. It runs on Microsoft. Then it has the Igel layer. This one connected again together with DriveLock, Sophos, and the Hermes system. Also with Cisco Collaboration Suite VXME for the communications part. And he wanted to have Samsung tablets with Igel software to connect to this infrastructure. This was like, to be honest, that was kind of pretty simple because it was not so sophisticated like the one before, but sometimes you need to have luck. And the last one that I wanted to show you here, we have the Igel software from the UD Pocket, from this software here, installed on a Samsung laptop, installed on a Toshiba laptop, and a Samsung tablet. Some of our customers are saying they need tablets with a virtual functionality. And the whole thing is then connecting on this hardware infrastructure in the IT center of our customer. Yeah, now basically, please mix it. Whenever you have a situation with those kind of software or hardware components that you would like to know, would that work if I put this together with all the others, then please come up to us, contact me or contact Peter, and we will arrange and invite you to Vienna to build this solution up for you, and you can then test it. And to be honest, a few days in Vienna is always something that I think could be nice, maybe as nice as being in Prague. Okay, so thank you very much. When you have any questions, you can ask me in English, in German, and also Peter would help if you want to ask the questions in your language. Oh, then thank you very much for your attention.